Welcome into the Dynasty Deal Show. I'm Ty at TyDeclare44, and I am joined by my man Shane at Shane Says FF on X. It's just you and me, my guy, and the people of the DDFFB community. So yes, this is the Dynasty Deal Show. We go live 9 p.m. Eastern every Friday. The show is exclusive to YouTube members of the Trades and Chill tier. $3.99 a month. Sign up. You get access to, of course, Dynasty Deal Show. Also get Destination Chill, Trinity Mondays, some emojis, some sweatpants, much more as well. Shane, these shows pop up on Friday mornings, and we'd say, get your trades in so you can be here before everything. But YouTube decided to refresh the stream or something, and we lost pretty much all the trades that were in the hopper for tonight.
So that is not great, Bob. Not great for a trade show.
Yeah, not great. I mean, I'll say if you hear this noise, not that one. If you hear, not that one. If you hear this noise, that means that we got to wrap it up and move on. But I figure we might not have to hit that one too often tonight.
I don't think we're going to run into that problem. No,
I don't think so. I mean, we got some good people in the house. We got Woo Bear 80. We got Dustin Brown. We got Not Great Bob. If you're here right now, if you get your trades in the chat, I can pretty damn well guarantee we will hit those deals. Okay. I'm sure we can filibuster here and there, Shane, and really make this thing work. But how is your week away from Ty Declare been? And what have you been trying to do in Dynasty, my friend?
I don't know if you're aware of the atrocities that were bestowed upon Philadelphia last night, but other than that, I'm good, man. Good. Really good. Look, last night sucked, but we talked about this on the drive this morning. It was great for fantasy, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a beautiful thing about fantasy, ain't it? Your home team is getting their guts kicked in throughout their eyes, but still can care. You know why? Because you go, oh, Jalen Hurts just picked up another 40 yards in the fourth quarter. That means absolutely nothing, but cool. I got fantasy points. So no, I mean, I'm still in the place where I'm trying to consolidate, right? It's consolidation season. In the off season, you want a lot of assets so you can do things with them. Hopefully in season, if you're good, start consolidating. So pivoting off of some players, pivoting twice, matter of fact, from Justin Jefferson to Puka Nacua. Mm-hmm. Obviously other pieces involved. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
I did a very similar deal. I moved a Justin Jefferson and a Saquon Barkley for Puka, a first and a second. So, look at us being big brained here. I'll tell you what, we got some trades rolling in here. We're gonna get in the normal flow. We'll see what happens. If I sound a little raspy, I got sick pretty much right after we finished Dynasty Deal Show last week. Was sick on my entire trip to Ottawa. On the plane ride back, caught something else. So I've just been on a little tear here. Nice. Let's hop over to AO Junior, 10 team, start 9, PPR Superflex, middle of the pack, projected playoff team without his first. Are you giving Tet and a late second for Quinshawn? No, not Quinshawn. QJ.
Quentin Johnston.
Quinton Johnston, yes. And Jacobs. So QJ and Jacobs for Tet and a late second. What do you think?
10 by 9. 10 by 9. And I need you to understand that is the only reason I will say yes to this deal. Because Jacobs, as Ray called him on Wake Up, is a tank, but the dude is he's a beast. And as much as I love Tet, the boom weeks don't seem like they're going to be there in that Carolina offense. Just unfortunately, the target share is incredible, but unfortunately, his quarterback's not particularly good. QJ can give us those blow up weeks, although he can give you what he gave you last week, which is 4 fantasy points, something like that. Whatever it wasn't good. But yeah, I'll do that in this format because Jacobs is such a hammer and QJ can give you those blow up weeks.
Yeah, it's shallow as heck. I mean, with Hampton going out, I assume the Chargers will lean more and more on the passing game, so Keenan Allen, QJ, and then hopefully Ladidi, they can figure it out over there. Talk to me here about not having your first on a middle of the pack team. You don't want to be in the middle. If you don't have your first, I am stubborn. I will run that thing into the ground before I,
you absolutely should.
Better, right?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. You should be doing so 10 by 9. It's a little harder, but I've had situations where, I traded away my first and I'm closer to the bottom than I am the top. And I'm like, no, that is not going to happen. I will fight tooth and nail to get to the 8th. To the 7th, you know what I mean? If I happen to get to the 6th, awesome. But I don't want someone getting an early first off of me because you know what I mean? Like as long as I can without damaging myself too much in the future, I'm going to fight and just try to move up a little bit.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, long term, we're all going to want Tet. Seconds are fun.
I
But,
love Tet, man. Yeah, I
but I
love
mean,
Tet.
big love guy,
Yeah.
T-Mac, Tet, whatever you want to call him. But QJ has been a nice surprise this season. Hopefully he can actually continue that trend. Jacobs, like you said, he is a Cybertruck, but probably can stand up to damage more than that. So, yeah, give me the QJ Jacobs side in a shallow league where I'm trying to score some points there. Ayo Junior. But I do wonder if that's the best you can do with your Tet. Would you try to do something different with your Tet in a 10x9?
I mean, so I don't really want two pieces, right? So it's like more like, what could I get if I add to Tet? Like, is it going to, it's obviously take more than a second apparently, but what else could I get for a second in Tet? Like, can I move that? Like, how do I get to CD Lamb? What do I need to do to get from Tet to CD Lamb in this type of format? And now is probably a good time to buy him because he's got another week where he's going to be on the shelf. And once he comes back, there's going to be no buying window because he's going to do the things that CD does. So, something like that. Again, it's 10x9. So literally nothing's off the table. You know what I mean? Like if I could, I'm throwing 15 players at someone just to get one player, but it's 10x9 and the other teams know that. But the good thing is there's always bad teams. There's always some bad team that could probably use multiple pieces, even if you can't just do the whole 5-for-1.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at Dynasty Daddy right now. The only Tet for a second is for golden and a first, and I'm not doing that one. But yeah, I think you could I think I'd be probably more so trying to look to use that Tet to climb higher versus split them into two. But
Yeah.
hey, because if I'm struggling for starters in a 10x9, it's just it's frankly just probably not my year. Could I move my Tet for my first back to unlock my rebuild if I'm really in that dire of straits? But again, you're not going to be hurting with a QJ and a Jacobs in your lineup right now.
No.
All right, well, thanks, y'all. And look at this. We got ourselves a super chat.
Let's go.
So thank you. Next 9.99. And it's a 10x9. We got a one quarterback PPR, no tight end premium, asking for consolidation help. Hurts, Bijan, Taylor, Achane, Judkins, Dobbins, Chase Lamb, DJ Moore, Devontae Smith, Sutton, Keenan, Warren, Ferk. All his picks in 26 and 27. Hashtag no rings. Actually, I don't see any additional questions yet here for next. So next, we're going to put a pause on this. You get the rest of your message in there. Everyone else hold on with bated breath, and we'll come back to that one. Let's go to Turon Kane. 16-team Superflex, 1.75 tight end premium. It's a start 2 tight end. We traded Jamar Chase, Woody Marks, Cam Scattaboo, and Harold Fannin for Malik Neighbors and Brock Bowers. Man, 16-team, 175 tight end and start 2 tight end. There's a lot of scarcity at tight end there. You're moving Bowers. You're getting into Fannin. You're moving Malik Neighbors. You're getting Jamar Chase. Is Cam Scattaboo and Woody Marks an appropriate gap between those assets?
Man, it feels like you gave up a lot to get Malik and Brock. Look, I Cam Scattaboo. I don't even get into it anyway. After last night, that overrated garbage bag backflipping piece of trash.
That's how you really feel.
Anyway, I'm sorry. He had a great game though, man. He really did. Look, if he was in Philadelphia, I would love that guy. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Perfect. Just running through people's chests like you want a football player to do. Anyway, sorry. I digress. It feels like you gave up probably, I don't want to say too much, right? Because Brock Bowers in this format you could take him at 103 in a startup in this format if you really wanted to. Top 8, probably closer. With the 1.75 tight end premium and 2-point tight end. Yeah, that's a top 5 player.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, he's a top 5 player in that format. Malik Neighbors is Malik Neighbors. But you didn't get a lot of discount on it, giving up Chase. I guess you could look at it as Mark Scattaboo and Harold Fannin are more replaceable pieces. How many starters was this?
16. It doesn't say. I assume like a 16 by 9 or 10.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's like 16 by 7 or
Right.
16 by 8. You know what I mean? That'd be weird. I got a trade offer. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Squirrel.
I'm gonna hate it. Squirrel. Yeah, I hate it. Anyway, 16 team, 1.75. I'll say this. You didn't get them cheap, but you did get two assets that you had no shot at getting for this price before the season.
Oh,
And
100%.
take out the fact that, Woody Marks and Cam Scatterboo weren't Woody Marks and Cam Scatterboo at that moment. You know what I mean? Just that value type of player probably wouldn't have gotten this done before the season, fan into. So I'm good with it. You definitely paid the full freight for it, though. But you got the two. Jamar Chase is probably the most valuable asset after Brock, but two of the three most valuable assets are yours, and it's a pretty far gap between the third asset and every other asset here.
Yeah. 16 team, start 2 tight end, 175. I think I'm taking Brock Bowers over Jamar Chase in the startup. And I think the quarterbacks and tight ends probably ascend there. And then that pushes down the wide receiver, pushes down the running back. Um, Obviously, it's Jamar Chase over Malik Neighbors. Fannin, the volume on the on the Fannin hypes maybe cooled down a little bit. I need Josh to keep pumping him up, but he's been quietly consistent and putting up great tight end numbers. So as a rookie, I'm still very in on Fannin. Woody Marks, it feels like we are kind of prisoners of the moment because just a week ago he put up like a 30 spot, and now he didn't, and now it's like, oh well, he's back to nothing. And Scatterboo did the opposite. Yeah, now he just scored 3 touchdowns on Monday night. I bet he's a top 15 running back on keep trade cut conservatively. Conservatively, like probably top 12 at least. I'll tell you what, man, like 16 by 2, 16 by 11, 16 by 10, even like anything like that, getting a 4 for 2 there does matter as long as I can actually use those pieces. And pretty much each piece he got back is usable, as long as you can jam Woody Marks into your lineup there. I just think the Brock Bowers of it all, if he is truly Brock Bowers, hopefully he can actually play a lot of games this year and get past this knee injury. I like the Neighbors and Bowers side, but I think both teams did what they needed to do. You get the upgrade at wide receiver in Chase. You get 2 running backs in Marks and Scatterboo and Fenn, that replaceable level tight end who in a 0.75 start 2, you're not losing. When you're relying on like a fan. And so I get it from both sides. I think if you look at this deal in like 5 months, Shane, you're probably going to want the Neighbors and Bowers side once Neighbors is back at it and we're not scoring points anymore.
Yeah. Yep. You will. I mean, look, you got, again, before the season, either way, you have 2 of the 3 most valuable assets. And like I said, the difference between I don't know what I was just about to call him, but the difference between Malik Neighbors and the next dude is a sizable gap. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. All right, we appreciate you. And let's go back to next, the 999 super chat. We appreciate it. So once again, 10 by 9, 1 quarterback, PPR, no tight end premium, wanting some consolidation help. Okay. So again, we got Hurts, we got Bijan, Taylor, Achane, Judkins, Dobbins, Chase Lamb, Moore, Smitty, Sutton, Keenan, Warren, and Ferg, all of his picks. So look at the team right here, Shane. I think we're flush at running back. I think I could see some consolidation in the wide receiver room maybe helping us. Do you see any other immediate things you want to do with this team before we get to the options?
I mean, how do you consolidate and improve upon Bijan, Taylor? Okay, in theory, I guess you could tear up from Achane and Judkins, but to what? Yeah. Like, let me think this through. Who am I forgetting? You've got Bijan, you've got Taylor,
Genty,
Cook. Yeah, James Cook, Genty, but like those guys, and I love both those dudes, but Achane and James Cook they're not different to me. Well, like, you know what I mean? They're just not. And Judkins, yeah, I still want Genty over Judkins. So yeah, can I find a way to get to Genty? I'd give up Judkins and Dobbins. Anything I do is probably going to be an overpay, but I'm fine with that in this format. The wide receivers is probably where you could consolidate a little more, right? Because you're looking at your running backs. You've got 4 or 5 of the top, I'm going to say conservatively, top 8 running backs in Dynasty. Wide receiver, you have 2 of the top 6 or 7, but then it drops off quickly with DJ Moore, Devonta, Sutton, Keenan, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And I don't know that you're going to get a better tight end room than Warren and Ferg.
You're flush there.
Yeah, I mean, Ferg's what, the tight end 2, I think, or something like that, and it's only getting better. And Warren is obviously a monster. So you can't, there's nothing to do at tight end. There's really nothing to do at running back. You could, it's 1 quarterback. I guess you could try to move from Hurts to Josh Allen. I have to look it up to see what the points per game difference is between the two, but I know Hurts is the QB6. So I'm going to assume there's a little bit of a gap there between him and Josh Allen.
Yeah. I mean, in a non-tight end premium, I think we could even move off of one of those tight ends between Warren and Ferg, try to extract some value there because people actually like those guys and Ferg is producing. But let's look at some of the options that Next is looking at. So, number one, give Judkins, Devontae Smith, and 2 firsts to get Amon-Ra. Would you give Judkins, Smitty, and 2 firsts for Amon-Ra?
What else we got? What are other options?
Fair enough. Give Judkins, Smitty, and 2 firsts, get Amon-Ra. Okay, once again. Feels like the iron price, but is there any other creative ways to handle it? Should I just sit tight? I mean, I'll tell you what, if I'm sitting there in your chair, man, like again, it's a 10-by-9. Every team is going to be stacked and your team already has a lot of decent options. I do want to get into elite wide receivers, but I don't really want to like put my next 2 years future on the line plus Judkins plus Smitty just to get up there. I don't know. Is there a different way that we can add that value to get Amon-Ra? Is there another structure to the deal or a slightly lower aim? What are you thinking there, Shane?
Yeah, I'm not doing that because look, Judkins could be in the Bijan John Taylor tier before the end of this year. If the dude can get 4 receptions a game, he's in that tier. And I'm not doing that. Again, I'm willing to overpay. Like you want 2 firsts and Smitty for Amon-Ra. Okay. You want 2 firsts, Smitty, and I don't know if I call him Schmitty, but you want Smitty, 2 firsts and Ferg or Warren.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll do it. But no, I'm not pressed to do this one. And, I'm assuming you can start probably the same number of running backs as you can wide receivers. So I'm not in a rush just to, you know what I mean? Like if I want to, I'm starting 4 of these running backs, And I know you could slip Dobbins in for Judkins and you wouldn't miss too much. But again, I don't feel pressed to do that. I wonder where Next is at in the standings. Like, is there a reason that they're feeling like they have to make a move?
Right. And I mean, just looking so Bijan Taylor, Achane, Judkins, Dobbins, all these wide receivers. I mean, I think probably with Lamb going out, probably he hasn't. I'm assuming there's been some difficulties there with maybe winning some of those games. Yeah. So that's probably what's motivated. I agree. Like, if I'm moving the 2 first, I'm not also moving Smitty and Judkins with that. Right. Like, I feel like that's adding too many kind of premier assets into one pile. Whereas if I'm doing a deal like that, let me put one flashy piece with some things around it. Let me move Judkins a first and Ferguson. Let me move, like Smitty and 2 first. Fine. Sure. Let's do that to get up to Amon-Ra and feel better about it. I'm just curious if there, and Shane, maybe this is just me. I think I would rather wait a couple more weeks until some of these teams really need to choose a direction and then start to pillage some of those cheaper options off people, if I'm going to do that. But
yeah.
Anything else you do with this team? Again, no rings. If I'm reading this right, he wants to win this year. He has a team that could win given how he has all of the running backs, right? Which is a good spot to be in a 1 quarterback PPR. But what do you think?
I think sometimes, and it's not going to be great for he's 4-1 and he just wants to win a home league. I get it, man. But there's at some point you can only throw so much wood on the fire. You know what I mean? The fire can only get so big. If you want to do it, I'm not going to tell you no because it's 10-by-9. You know what I mean? Like, and you are stacked at running back and, wide receiver, whatever. You'd have Chase, Lamb, and Amon-Ra. I mean, you'd be absolutely stacked there too. I don't know that even doing this, though, guarantees you that you win that title, though. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Amon-Ra, he's having a monster year. He is. So if you want to do it, I get it. I understand it. It's a lot for me. It's a little bit too much for me. It's just not more than I want to pay right now. And again, I get it. 10-by-9. If that's the only deal that you can make, go for it. Yeah.
Just curious, there's like another range of wide receiver. Like we mentioned Quentin Johnston. I mean, like a George Pickens, a Rashee Rice is coming back. Every Dynasty person in the space is saying, go buy low on Rashee Rice. Now is not the time. The time was weeks ago.
Low on Rashee Rice.
Weeks ago, you should have been doing that. I mean, Nico Collins probably it feels more available than he was at the start of the year.
Absolutely obtainable. Yeah. Compared to.
Romo Dunze, Drake London, like Ibuka. If you can get your hands on Ibuka still, I'm still trying to do maybe that JSN. Like I'm
Yeah.
kind of going through all of those names before I'm paying that iron price that your league may be asking, right?
Yep.
And if that's the price, man, I'm just gonna be stubborn. Roll with. I'll put Sutton in. Hopefully, I'll get a Smitty game. Keenan Allen is producing very, very nicely, so I don't feel too left out there. Your team's nice. You got a lot of flexibility built into it. Those first, let's make them late and then send them off. You know what I mean? So next, we appreciate you. Hit us up in the DMs if you have any other trade ideas that come up or you want any kind of additional help. But we appreciate you. Okay, Big Diaz energy. What's up? 10
Diaz.
Start 12 team. Start 10. I don't think he plays in 10 teams. Superflex PPR 0.5 tight end premium. Give a mid to early first. Get Keenan, Diggs, and Njoku. The projected favorite, attrition has me at 5-5. He lost Neighbors, Bowers. He has BTJ and Geno. Have his first and second, mid to early first. So it's a first and 2 to mid to early first. So 3 first in the back pocket. We all have teams like this, Shane, right? I feel like every team is just atrociously hit by injuries, but some of them are all consolidated on one team that should have been a favorite.
I'll tell you what, though. If you have, I prefer one team get sacrificed like this to the fantasy gods rather than it gets sprinkled out. You know what? Just take one, and this is my tribute for the season. Husker, I countered. This is my tribute for the season. Take these men and leave my other league alone. Leave all my other leagues alone. Now the problem is, and Diaz plays in about a kabillion leagues. You play in a bajillion, and I play in a quintillion amount of leagues. So anytime, a BTJ goes down, you're like, oh, there's 7 leagues. Anytime, knock on wood, just name quarterback X goes down, you're like, oh, there's a quarter of my leagues right there. But yeah, there was no real point to that other than jumping in and cutting you off.
That's all good. My cough decided to catch up to me right when you were talking there, so that's all good. I think for me, the big one is like losing George Kittle. I had a lot of teams where I had a George Kittle strong tight end behind like a Bowers or a McBride. That bet has not paid off yet so far this year. So hopefully that actually turns around. But yeah, so on those teams, give a mid to early first. Get Keenan Allen, Diggs, and Njoku. So trading a single first for 3 producing assets, plug holes on a team that you think can still win. You know that you're paying the price that you would never pay 3 weeks ago, but here we are today. It is like Keenan Allen who's smashing, Stephon Diggs, Trinity King, and Njoku. Is that the kind of way you're trying to use one of those mid to early first on like this team in this situation?
We're 5-5. Yeah. We're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, right? We're literally probably a game out of the playoffs or a game in the playoffs. Like we're right there, so we can still make moves. Just focused on this year, he's got his first and second, and 2 early firsts. Is that what that says?
Yeah, 2 mid to early first plus his own.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably betting on myself and seeing if I can sell my first and another like mid to late first, and definitely trying to push in. Dynasty Daddy still hasn't projected as a favorite, right? Yeah, I'm still making moves. Like, so what's out there? What deals have you been offered? You are broken at you're not. I was going to say you're broken at tight end, but Njoku's not bad. It's just he's not what Brock Bowers would have been, obviously.
Right.
But why don't I pivot off Brock Bowers to another tight end that is producing like Tyler Warren? Why don't I move off of Bowers and see if I can get Jake Ferguson and something? Now, it's only a half-point tight end premium, so I don't know how much that something can be. But, I mean, I'm investigating. I'm looking into all that. Investigating, yeah. Breaking out the clues.
Got this Sherlock Holmes hat on.
Yeah. And how do I move from BTJ? Can I move from BTJ to, you just talked about JSN and a Mecca. Like, what does it take to get to them? Now, I don't want to add it first to get it done. And if that's what the price is, then, maybe it can't happen.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's like a Bowers and BTJ. Can you get a Warren, a Warren, an Odunze,
Mhm.
maybe a first and maybe something else. You know what I mean? Like, can you condense it in that way a little bit? I know that you have a ton of Bowers because we are leaders in the tight end clubhouse. But I'm curious. Yeah, is there a way to keep it going where? And again, I have a ton of these kind of teams too, right? Where I've been hit, they haven't really performed the way that I expected them to, and I have these premier assets that have been hurt. What I don't want to do is sell those premier assets for peanuts and leave myself with like multitude of options, but not enough really like dynasty market movers or insulated value because value is very perishable. Anyways,
Yes.
but what I
There's
want
no
to
such
do,
insulation is such a
it's,
yeah.
a fickle B
It
word.
is an antiquated word in the game that we play nowadays.
Yes, exactly. So, but if I am moving one of those, premier assets, I want to make sure that I'm not splitting it up 14 pieces, but I do want to get hopefully two premier pieces, a pick and a player in a similar range, a cross positional move that moves me forward. It just needs to make sense for your individual team, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
here, 5 and 5, Keenan Allen, Diggs, and a joke. I think that probably does move you forward, but is there a better deal? And if it is truly as a mid to early first, like Diaz, if you're 5 and 5 right now, I would probably try to align this team just to can I just make playoffs and have 3 firsts that I'm sitting on, where as we move through this process and teams start to kick it for 2026, they're gonna want those firsts a lot more. And I'm probably gonna be a lot more than Keenan, Diggs, and Njoku for one of those first. And if that time doesn't come, if the team doesn't make the playoffs, I feel really good heading into 2026 with your team, Bowers, BTJ, Neighbors, and 3 early firsts. Yeah, I would be very okay with that as well. So I don't want to feel like I have to make a move here, Diaz, and I'm not just kind of spending those first just to plug in the lineup right here today if I can help it.
Right, and where are we at? We're like 6,
Week
6
6,
seed.
yeah.
No, not week
Oh,
6.
sorry.
But yeah, like where are we? I know what week we are, but
I
no,
was
like
gonna say,
where are we in the standings? Right? Like, can
yeah.
I just know that BTJ is going to turn it around? Bowers, I don't know about Bowers, man. I'm not sure what's going on with his feet, but you know what I mean. Like, can I wait it out? A couple more weeks because I only need to stay afloat before I can start adding stuff later. Like I have the assets to stay afloat and I have the assets to buy as long as I stay afloat.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, fellas. Well, thank you, Diaz. We appreciate you, man. You know where to find us if you have more ideas there, or multiple other teams that are in that same spot. Okay. How about Dylan Vergara? 12 team, Superflex, PPR, start 10, contending team. Trade away Chase Brown for
Yes.
Bill. Straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's that Cincinnati offense. Big stinkies. Joe Flacco led now. Are you any more excited about Joe Flacco in that offense?
For Chase Brown, because we think there's going to be a lot of dump offs.
Sure. Maybe.
Yeah, I get it, but it also feels like JCM, Washington finally last week. And look, you look at the production and you're like, oh, great, no shit. But you look at how he got there, the fact that he finally got more rushing attempts than Chris Rodriguez. They used him in the passing game a little bit more. So he's on an offense that can score and isn't irrecoverably, that's not a word, not broken. It's not a broken offense. So yeah, I'll take JCM straight up. And here's the thing, neither of these guys are guys that are foundational to me. It's not like I'm moving, like I'm selling short on a player that I had long-term hopes for. I don't have a lot of long-term hopes for Chase Brown. I mean, I don't have a lot of long-term hopes for running backs, but like he's not Gibbs, Bijan, Chain, James Cook, nothing like that. So yeah, I'll move him for JCM straight up. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my Canadian king, Chase Brown, I had high hopes for him entering the season, but it didn't really pan out, and that's fine. We adjust. Bill has done the opposite. He's continued to kind of like garner more opportunities as we've went along here. I think the idea coming out of preseason that he was going to be the only running back in the room and that's it, that's all. That was a little bit dumb. I feel like I wanted to do the Shane where I just started saying a word and seeing where the word tipped me versus having a word in mind, but I won't go there. Yeah, man. I mean, I got asked today, would you send your Henry to get Bill straight up? And I like, this is crazy that we're here at week 6, but that's an actual question, So I think we do need to adjust. And I think it also comes down to, what matters more, opportunity and points right now, talent and like, maybe some flexibility, but like you said, man, like value and insulation in the game we play, it's not real, right? It changes so quick, and this is a great example of it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, give me Bill straight up, man. See you later, Canadian King.
This is where we are.
It's where we are. We adjust. We appreciate you. Yeah, let us know if you're going to trade any more Canadians. Okay, Max FF 12 team start 10 Superflex 2 tight end premium. We got Hurts, we got Burrow, we got Fields being sent away for Achan and Kyron, if I'm reading that correctly. So no, that can't be it.
Karen.
Karen.
Such a Karen.
Such a Karen. Here we go. Let's try this one. 12 by 10 Superflex, 2.5 tight end premium, and a 0.1 point per carry. We got Burrow, Hurts, Fields, HN, Karen Kyron, Bill, Pollard, AJ Brown, London, Dobbs, Wandale, and Ferg, and Kelsey. Trade offer of London for Javonte Williams and Zay Flowers. Thanks. I was just watching the Trinity video. I was a little late. Feeling under the weather this week, but Flowers, hot start to the season, and right now he's in that Trinity buy zone, where he's below the trend line. He's probably the only option in that Ravens offense that you really can trust as a wide receiver. But what is that when it's Cooper Rush throwing the ball? London, I feel like we've just wanted more from London, even though he's been doing fine. I don't know. I just feel like I want more from that entire Atlanta offense. I want more consolidation. I want something more, and I didn't want to see that this week. But Javonte Williams, happy surprise. Is Javonte Williams the piece that gets it done on top of Flowers to move your London?
If it's not, it's only because I'm stuck on what I thought London was going to be this year.
Yeah.
And do I still think he can get there? I know. Look, short of a miracle, Flowers isn't going to have monster weeks. Well, I mean, look, Lamar will be back in a couple weeks, right? After the bye, so maybe 3 weeks. Yeah. It's so hard looking at Javonte Williams as an actual asset.
Yeah.
And
well, he's not an asset. He is what he is. He's as values as production is producing. So, you're not getting Javonte to move markets. You're getting him for what he is.
I mean, so there's also this. I'm looking at my running backs, right? Are you starting him over maybe Kyron and Pollard? But I don't need him here. I need a wide receiver more than I need a running back. Like, can I do this? Again, I don't want to. No, I'm not doing it. Flowers does nothing for me. He has a couple boom weeks, and he's done this so far in his career. He'll give you a couple boom weeks, and he'll have crazy target shares where people will be losing their minds. Bro had a 57% target share on 20 targets. You know what I mean? Like, it's less impressive. Sometimes it's cool using percentages, but sometimes you do need the raw numbers for the context. Zay Flowers he doesn't do it for me. Yeah.
That's true, right? And that's what this is how quick we move in Dynasty, right? It's a bye week throws off the vibes. But yeah, man, I mean, I feel like I want to stick with London there. Just for what he is versus Flowers and Javonte. I can find Javonte level running back production. I can stumble into that. Flowers level production. Again, I don't see Flowers ascending. I think he is what he is. I think London, there's still some meat on the bone. I'm just going to stick with London there.
Yeah.
I like what you said. I think I'm doing this just because I'm going to stick to my priors. I'm going to practice some patience here with some London and stay there.
Because it's not like Flowers has come out and blown it out the box. Like you said, He had a couple big weeks, and sure, he's in the buy zone in the Trinity. But I bet if you look at London, he's not far off, if off at all. So he hasn't done enough for me to be like, yeah, I need to get Flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't need that. If I'm saying I need Flowers, I have bigger problems.
Yeah.
Michael Talbot, my buddy, sent me a mid to late 27 first and second for QJ and a third. 12 team Superflex start 11. What's the buy now price on QJ?
Well, luckily he had one of those bad QJ weeks last week, right? And those weeks help depress his price and remind people of like, oh, this could be this is kind of profile he has.
I mean, he wasn't going to score 30 points a game?
Probably not. So he sent you a mid to late 27 first and second for QJ, and it's 12 by 11. I like QJ, but I like QJ now. And a third, yeah, I'd probably move him. I would like some context to the team, Michael. You know what I mean? Because context always matters. Like, do you have 5 firsts already? Are you competing and you already have 4 firsts? You know what I mean? Are you competing with 3 firsts? Like, I always do want another first, but I also don't want to just deplenish. Yeah, I think that's right. My roster, unplenish. I don't want to unplenish my roster.
I don't have an argument against the word you used, but I don't know if it's a real word, so we're gonna roll with it.
Yeah,
replenish is one.
Replenish.
I guess that makes sense.
You would think, right? I deplenished it, deplete it. There you go. I deplete it. Look, it's Friday. It's been a long week. It's 9:00 at night. All right, deplenish. I deplenished it. I unplenished it. Anyway, I don't know if that sounds like something you do alone in your bathroom. Anyway, I would move QJ in a vacuum without a lot of context. I would move QJ for the 27 first and second and give up QJ in the third.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking at just some Dynasty Daddy deals. Yeah, QJ in a third for a first, QJ for a first straight up, QJ for Harvey in a third. I'll take QJ there. Yeah, and then other people using QJ to get higher. So CD Lamb for J.K. Dobbins, QJ in a first. Brian Thomas for QJ in a first. So yeah, he's kind of like that. He's producing.
I was going to say 12 by 11, but never mind. That was off Dynasty Daddy, right?
Yeah. So that was a 12 by 9, the Brian Thomas Jr. one. But
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like QJ. He's producing right now. I can clearly use him to hopefully move up as well if I want to consolidate. So yeah, man. 27 first and second for QJ in a third. If that's the piece that moves my team forward, I will pay that for QJ. If I'm a middling team that stumbled into QJ and I'm not planning on using them this year, see ya first and second. Happily take that cash out. But yeah, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Hopefully your buddy or you win that trade and you hold that over their head for eternity. Yeah. Blue Bear 80. In my 1 quarterback dynasty, I'm top 4, but my QBs are Stroud and Darnold. Should I upgrade to Drake May if I can, or do you think I can hold it down with these two? He says, yes. Yeah. If you can get out of Stroud or Darnold, you probably feel great. And if you can turn that into Drake May, yeah.
I'm good with Darnold, actually. I prefer Darnold over Stroud. I know no one's going to like that take. Absolutely not. But Darnold's been absolutely lights out since after week 1. When I was so worried about him. But yeah, if I can get if I can get the Stroud to Drake May. Oh, wait a minute. It's only 1 QB.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So I'd move off of Darnold and 1 QB. Sorry. My mind automatically goes super flex. No matter what you say, my brain, it just crosses it out. And it's like, he meant super flex.
You start 1 quarterback in your quarterback, and you start 1 quarterback in your super flex. Yeah, I get it.
Obviously. Yeah, I would want to move to May, right? Because Stroud and Darnold don't give me that rushing production, and that's what I really, really, really need in a 1 QB league out of my QB. I need him to be able to guy that can give me those spike weeks. He's a guy that I was going to say he can't be Lamar, but you know what I mean? Like maybe he could be Jackson Dart one day. But he can give you that rushing production, but I wouldn't mind also just trying to see what does it take to get to Jalen Hurts? What does it take to get to Josh Allen? What does it take to get to not Lamar right now, etc. Like, let me try to get to the top of that tier first, that running tier of quarterbacks. And, May is kind of in that tier. So he would be like right below those guys. Obviously, Jaden Daniels. If I can't do those, then maybe then I move down to May.
You know what deal I hate that we made earlier in this year, where I sent you Sam Darnold in a first for CJ Stroud in a second. Not working out for me so far.
There's several trades I made with you that have not worked quite the way I had hoped. So it's okay.
The feeling's mutual. Awesome.
We're willing trade partners, and unfortunately, our trades kill each other. Anyway.
We leave a hole in our no, that's a pause. Anywho, Woo Bear, we appreciate you. I mean, should I upgrade to Drake May? Yes, but what's the price? Right? Like 1 quarterback. Are you adding a first on top of any of those guys to get Drake May?
No. If it's Allen, yes. If it's Lamar, yes. If it's what's that guy's name? Jalen Hurts, yes. Because imagine what he could do if he played 2 halves. But yeah, in those cases I am. Because
No,
again, the one quarterback in a one quarterback league, quarterbacks like that can absolutely tip a week.
that might be the move right now with Lamar not playing and being injured. He could actually maybe be attainable right now. Right. So that's where I
Yeah.
would be willing to add that first and hopefully get into that. And if you have both Stroud and Darnold, you can just kind of patch it with that problem that you
Until
made
he
for
gets
yourself
back.
with that guy until he gets
Yeah.
back. So I'd be willing to explore that. Yeah, Drake, can I do it without spending the first? Right. What does that look like? Is there excess guys I can add in? Some sexy name. What can I do to get there? But yeah, I mean, at least you got Darnold to bail you out so far, buddy. But good luck on that one, Uber. All right, Jed, Tatiano, what's the proper way to push to the bottom? What should I keep? What should I target in return? Selling for less to jettison points. Other tips and thoughts. Thank you, gentlemen. So, general principles for tanking, Shane. How do you align your teams to tank the best?
So we talk about this, I think, probably a fairly regular amount. Regular? Man, I'm having trouble with the English language as usual, but even getting the words out of my mouth today. Anyway, we talk about this all the time, like kind of like you sell lower on some players because it's more valuable for you to drop down in the rankings than it is for you to get that extra third. More than it is important that you get that, high end second or whatever, like the difference between a third and a second. Maybe I do take 2/3 instead of a second because that's the best I can do. And I want to get the points off my roster as soon as I can. So it's Keenan Allen. And the best offer I'm getting is 2/3. And I'm like, yeah, but he should be able to, I should get a second. Like I should be able to add a third to Keenan Allen and get a second back, but you can't. And I kind of want to get those points off as quickly as possible. Hopefully I have my own first. I'm going to assume you do, but like I want to hurry up and get these points off my roster when I'm clearly not competing. Let me get them off my roster ASAP. Who should you keep? I would say foundational pieces. Do you have any? But even them, they're up for sale too if I get the right return. Like, you know what I mean? If I have Josh Allen, but someone offers me Drake May and 2 firsts, or see you, Josh, you know what I mean? Like that's enough for me. So literally no one's off the table, but the most almost off the table guys would be the foundational pieces. And foundational pieces aren't wide receiver 2s. They're not running back 2s. They're generally not running backs, but you know what I mean? They're not quarterback 2s. Like it's a top. Do I have a top 6 quarterback? Do I have a top 6 wide receiver? Do I have a top 3 tight end? Like those are the only pieces that are truly kind of off the table.
Mm-hmm. And even then, when the right deal comes along, they're gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, other general things. If your playoff pick or your non-playoff picks are arranged by maximum points for versus just record, even if it is just record, I'm interested in just adding as many backup quarterbacks as I can. I know that they're probably going to be zeros unless they're not. And if they're not, maybe I can add them to something else and get a pick, get some fab, get something else and keep that train rolling. Otherwise, yeah, man, just be open to deals. Be willing to take that 80 cents on the dollar if you think that's going to move your pickup a few slots, right? Again, what are you going to pay to move from 104 to 101? And what would you do today to get off that and to get those points off your roster? So just got to ask your questions, Jed. I'm sure if you tuned into, about every manic and chill from now until the end of time, that question will come up multiple other times with many other ways to approach it.
And you know what? Guys on your roster that you should be able to get a third and a fourth for, no one's offering it to you. Like you literally changed their nickname on Sleeper to any third, any year. And you've actually blasted out offers and people are just rejecting it. You know what? I'll cut them. Bye. You know what I mean? I don't care because he can't help me. Like his even if he's on my roster next year, like hopefully he wouldn't be someone that's even starting, like not even a spot start. Like he could get a couple spot starts this year. That's just not helping me long term. He can go.
Right. All right, Shane. 50 minutes left. Well, I don't know how fast we have to go, but the end is in sight, people. So strap in. We're going through the last 15 minutes of the show with Tony Perez, who's a realistic target in a tier up and down for Olave Plus. He's a solid producer in my flex at times, but feels like I could do better or equal with a lesser player and get something on top. So from Olave, who are you aiming to go up from, and what's an ideal kind of split for your for your Olave if you're trying to go down?
Here's the problem. I don't think Olave counts for a lot. Like I don't think I could move to, maybe I could move to AJ Brown if I had a second to Olave. Maybe I could do something like that, especially coming off another game that's just lackluster, 14 points. Doing that on the hopes that he's going to actually break out. Breakout's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Get back on track. Like I just want to look at Olave right now on KTC. Sorry, he's wide receiver 32. Looking at the wide receivers above him, like, do you want to add a first to him to get Ricky Purcell? Xavier Worthy, Zay Flowers, AJ Brown, like that doesn't appeal to me. Could I add a first to him to get to Marv Harrison? I mean, even that doesn't really excite me.
Theoretically, you could, but
right.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice, like, can I do that? If I could do that, cool. You know what I mean? But you could also just continue to look for players that aren't popping right now with the hopes that they're going to hit. BTJ, Lad McConkey, even though it feels dirty. Like, why should I have to add to Olave to pick up 2 points? But yeah, Rice, maybe Rome, like Sean's saying, like guys like that. But I also, like, I still believe in BTJ, so I wouldn't mind saying, you know, what do I need to add to Olave to get to BTJ?
Yeah. GW might be able to get that too. I like the Ladidi. I like going after Lad there. He hasn't produced yet. I want to bet on that offensive, you know, a consolidated offensive passing attack with what we've seen so far. I want to bet on that. Let's bet that Ladidi can turn it around there. So I like that one as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, there's probably better. And again, for going down from Olave, like would you take Wandale in a second for Olave?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay. Isaac
Literally
Tesla in a second.
Not him.
Has to be an actual wide receiver. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just looking, and below him on KTC, not the end all be all. I get it. Blah blah blah. Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, somehow Michael Pittman. Then it gets ugly. Then I'm probably just like, no, I'll hold on to Mike Chris Olave. But if I can get, damn, why is Wandelay so down? Oh, anyway, Rashid Shaheed in a second. You know what I mean? Sure, can I do that?
Yeah.
You know, and I like Olave. It's just I don't know that, again, the ceiling exists right now in this offense.
Yeah, I assume this is a shout out to Brandon, the Wandale. But yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to do with my Olave. But yeah, it's just God, Olave, stay healthy, please, and produce, please. Just do that for us.
Yeah, get him through the season healthy. That'd be awesome for the kid. And then get him a real quarterback next year and let him show what he can do.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan Ebensteiner, 12 team, Superflex, 0.5 PPR, and to start 10. Rebuilding team made 3 trades. We traded Evans, Judy, and Dobbs for a 26 first. Pause there. Evans, Judy, Dobbs for a first.
I don't know why someone would do that, but good job. Like, absolutely. Chef's kiss, man. That is I mean, I don't know if they were high. So if they were high, that's not cool that you took advantage of them like that. But otherwise, they're a consenting adult. So it's between you two, what you've done to them. I'd feel dirty. They should feel dirty. But yeah, it's good for you, man. Great deal.
Good stuff. People into their own thing, you know. Not trying to judge, but I would take the first. Traded Kenny Walker for a 26 first. Sick. Good work. And traded Marvin Harrison Jr. for Devontae Smith and a 26 first.
Yeah. I'm still a Marv fan, but what has he done to show me that he's significantly better than Devontae Smith? Nothing. I mean, he's actually not shown me that he's better than Devontae Smith. I guess he's outscoring him this year, but whatever, year ain't over. Yeah, and you're rebuilding. So I love all those deals. I really can't believe someone gave you a first for Evans, Judy, and Dobbs, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That feels like never mind. Yeah, you did great, man. You really did. You added 3 firsts and Devonta Smith. So that's not bad at all for a rebuilding roster. Not at all. You got a ton of age and uselessness off of it.
Yeah. You got a bunch of things that are just stuff and in a flat tier. You got what I'm assuming you probably have at least 4 firsts now on this team. So you're controlling at least a quarter of the 26th draft. You got Smitty as well. I mean, yeah, this is great for you, Dylan. So you know what you're doing. You don't need us here on that one. Good work, my friend. How about this one though? 12 team Superflex, 0.5 PPR to start 10. Team came to me wanting my Baker.
No.
He offered Dart and a mid 26 second. Is that enough for you guys to move off Baker? 6-point passing touchdown. Shane says no.
No. And there's no one else on the show. It's just me and you.
Yeah.
So like we're the absolute, like we're the judge, jury, and executioner.
We're it. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. There's no third party to go to. Look, I get it, especially after last night. Dart looks like the Lamar Jackson incarnate, whatever. Doesn't matter. Again, reincarnated. Anyway, call him Ghosty Jackson. Anyway, he look, you're at the pinnacle of probably what you could sell him for right now after what he did, and he balled out. But he also hasn't really impressed that much as a passer, which at some point that always matters, right? Unless you are a Lamar Jackson and can run like Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson throws like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you took away his legs, he'd be fine. You couldn't do that with Jackson Dart right now. Baker is undervalued. I didn't think, I didn't think, and I'm wrong, clearly. I didn't think he could do what he did last year. And for the most part, he has in every sense. He's rushing a little less, not a lot, but his touchdown percentage is still really high. His completion percentage is down, but whatever. When you're hitting 70-yard passes to Emeka Buka, you don't need your completion percentage to be that great. So he's just really undervalued, like you said. So no, I don't want to do that deal. Not enough. But you're rebuilding. I get it.
Yeah.
Now, how about this? How about I add a second to my Baker and we'll give me Dart in a first?
Yeah. Just looking at Dynasty Daddy right now. Dart in a second for 2 firsts. Dart in a first for Jalen Hurts. Dart for Jordan Love straight up.
That's a league I'm in.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that was today.
Bill Dart in a second for Lamar Jackson.
Wow, Jesus Christmas. What are we doing, people?
Lamar Jackson for Jackson Dart straight up. There it is. The ghost of Jackson. I have Dart in a full punt rebuild league. I got an offer for a first and a third. I'm not moving off Dart for that, man. Like I think I want to get 2 firsts worth of value just because he's a young quarterback and he looked great against an offense that a defense in the Eagles that we would all agree should be a good team with, they look how they draft, look what the team has done. Him playing well in a short week against the Eagles who came into the game pissed off for losing last week. That's impressive, right? He looked good doing it. So I think now is the time, if you want to take advantage, it's a good time to move off some Dart. But I'm also not in a hurry just to send him away for any first. Like that's all I'm trying to do with my Dart. So here, man, I'm still on the Baker side, but I agree. What can I add to Baker to get something else back with Dart that I really want? That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
cool. Okay. Big Diaz sent 3 late firsts in Dart for Lamar week 1. What would y'all add to Dart now to get Lamar in the current state of attrition? So I'm not doing it straight up, Shane. I'm not doing it straight up. Would you send Dart in a first for Lamar today?
Yeah, it's Lamar Jackson. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
Is it Dart in 2 firsts? 12 by 10 super flex.
If I'm flush with the picks, yeah, I can talk myself into it.
Would you rather do like Bill Dart in a first for Lamar Jackson?
1,000%. It's funny. You look at it too. A lot of people would prefer to give up that player, even though the player's worth a first, because it's not a first. I just want to put this out there, right? Like, so just Jackson Dart, I know he's looked amazing this year. He looked amazing last year. What's that guy's name? Oh, Bo Nix. And he's not bad. He's not bad this year, right? But he's QB 20. His scoring dropped by about 2 points. Like, dude, it's just too early for me to be thinking that Dart's in any type of class with Lamar. Do I really want to give up 2 firsts and Dart? Probably not. I'm probably not going to do that. That's because I'm going to go to immediately to what else can I do with that stuff as opposed to paying all that.
Yeah. Now, I think Dylan was probably talking to his previous one, but what about Dart Addison and a second for Lamar?
I'm giving that for Lamar.
For Lamar, yeah, like that's
Oh,
a smash for Lamar. Yeah,
absolutely.
that's what I'm saying. If we can use our Dart like this to get up to those elite guys, that's you green light. Go do that. If that's for
Wait, we don't green light them. You know what that means when you green light someone?
oh God, what?
No, that means you're going to off them, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, don't.
No, it's Canadian. It's fine. It's a Canadian green light. It's nice. Yeah. No, that was for Baker. Okay, that's what I was thinking, right? Are you trading? Okay. Yeah. So Dart, Addison, and a second for Baker.
Damn, dude, just keep the second and freaking Addison and give me a first. You jerk off. I'm rebuilding. That's not bad. I mean, that's not bad because the problem with Baker is he's never gonna like, what else can the guy do for his value to ascend, right?
Probably nothing. We've hit the peak.
Yeah. So from that perspective, I'm rebuilding, and this is probably one of my few outs with them. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm good with that. Addison has his weeks. Hasn't had it this year, obviously, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I wouldn't love it, but I'm okay with it. And I don't know that you'll do better, though, is probably the more important part of that, right? I don't think that you'll do better if you try to move them.
That's the one you don't decline. You send another offer with what you want to get done. Mm-hmm. Once that gets declined and everything else is declined, then you go back and accept that original offer with yes in the second.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Anahola, Genty for Bucky in a playoff first, Shane. Let's say 12 by 10.
Genty for Bucky and a playoff first. No, I'm holding on to Jenny. But that also could be because of my biases against Bucky and my biases for Genty.
Yes, it's possible, but
I mean, I don't know, Ty.
That's what I'm thinking, right? Is if we flash forward 4 weeks, Bucky's back. He has a shoulder and a toe and all of his body parts in line, and it's Bucky in a first for you know what I mean? If that and Genty and the Las Vegas situation hasn't changed, the offensive line still stinks. That's probably a fair deal going into next season. What am I going to want? Bucky in a playoff first, like having something useful for you. I don't hate the price. No. I think it just depends how important are those points for you right now. If it's really important over these next 2 to 3 weeks that you score a lot of points, go get a green light, an American green light to go and get that Genty, do whatever you have to do to off whoever to get it done. But as far as like a pure value standpoint, I'm okay with Bucky in the first.
From a pure value perspective, if you're actually following the process, you should make this deal. Now, the difference between Bucky and Genty, if it does even lean Genty's way production-wise, is probably not going to be that great.
Yeah,
it could be. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm alone. I think Genty could. I don't know why I want to say Bijan, but I think he could put up Bijan types of numbers. Absolutely. He's not as good as a receiver. Obviously, Bijan's just ridiculous. More Bijan's ridiculous once the ball's in his hand in open space. But anyway, it's definitely a fair offer. It's definitely like the value is straight up. The only thing that would stop me from doing it really would be my preference of liking Genty that much.
Yeah, if Bijan did like the Michael Myers stance, he'd actually outscore everyone. So if he just did that, maybe that would be a nice change. Sean, 12 by 11 Superflex PPR failed contender due to injuries. Heard that. Looking to reload for next year. Trade AJ Brown, 26 fourth for Olave and a mid second. The answer is no. Who should I target to move AJ? Man, AJ Brown, my love, my swole Batman. Man, honestly, Olave in a second on a failed contender. Like, I don't see the price for AJ Brown going up, Shane.
I'll say this. AJ can still play himself back into a first round player. He definitely can. He absolutely can. And I would hold out for that. I'm also wearing an Eagles hoodie, and I can't pretend that doesn't color my opinion because I just think the Eagles offense can't continue to be this bad. And their defense is not good, which is a good thing, right? For fantasy. If their defense continues to be not particularly good and their offense gets better, Like we've seen it the last 2 weeks. His games have been a lot better. It's just unfortunately one of those games was against Patrick Surtain. And then last night they just felt the wheels fell off, and you know what I mean. I'm probably holding on to him because here's the thing. I look at it like this too, right? If I miss out on Chris Olave in a second and I still have AJ Brown, did I really lose out on that much? Like, you know what I mean? Like the difference between those, did I lose a ton of value that way?
Yeah. If we play out the process of one of our previous deals there, am I sending my AJ Brown away for Wandale in 2 seconds? No, I'm not doing that. I think, yeah. So what would it take? I think what I would probably do is I would add something else to AJ Brown because I know you have something else sticking on to those teams, something that's popping right now. Maybe it's an Amari, maybe it's a Haskins, maybe it's one of these other running backs that we've been stashing or picking up. Maybe it's a backup quarterback. Mush it all together. What else can I do to then get Olave and a first? What else can I squish together to get that other deal done? If that's not on the table, I don't know, man. Are we aiming higher than Olave? I don't know. Zay Flowers is same range guys. I mean, Michael Pittman, Pearsall, Travis Hunter. If you feel better about any of those names over Olave plus the second for that, you have my blessing. Go ahead and do it. But I agree, man. Like I think if you're cool with holding on to AJ Brown, let's do it. Wait for that window. Maybe there's a trade. Maybe we get usage. Maybe Jalen Hurts hits him with a deep ball, right? Yep. But yeah, Sean, I know how you play. You would do a lot with Olave in a second as well. So no matter what you do, you got it. Okay, Jackson Tribe, 12x9, contender to contender. Send CeeDee Lamb for Rome and 2 random firsts to a super team. I think the only question here is, would you trade a super team CeeDee Lamb?
I mean,
for Rome and 2 first, I have a hard time saying no.
I don't. Yeah, I hate feeding the beast, but if he's a super team, it doesn't sound like I'm probably going to beat him yet this year anyway. So why don't I take those 2 firsts and see what I can do to them? Not to them, with them. I can use 2 of those firsts and another player and tier up twice. You know what I mean? Or I just make the picks. But it just, there's so much flexibility that it gives me that I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you don't like feeding the super team, but sometimes you have to get what you need.
Exactly. It's not all about what you need. It's what can move some teals forward, create some trade bridges for the future years. But we do appreciate everyone that showed out tonight. Next, Ayo Jr., Turon C, Diaz, Dylan Varaga, Max FF, Michael Talbot, Woo Baird, Joel Tatiano, Tony Perez, Dylan Evensteiner, Jackson Tribe, all of you who showed out. Our questions disappeared, but we got a bunch of trades to talk through. We love y'all. We added this thing. Peace.